Well, welcome back. Just about set for all-star action from Indianapolis, the Market Square Arena. In fact, let's take a look at the starting lineups in tonight's ball game. For the North, this is the way they're going to start tonight. Neil Reed, who is headed for IU, along with Jeff Brower, who's going to play down at Florida State. The center is going to be Andre Patterson. He will be headed for IU's out of Abilene, and Clayton Shields and Rob Hodgson. Hodgson also headed for Indiana. So 3 of those starters for the Hoosiers heading on up to Bloomington next year. Let's take a look at the starters for the South team. This is the way they're going to line up their guards. DeJuan Baker and Avery Curry. Curry is the only man here at this all-star team, and we'll elaborate on this, who is undecided. He doesn't have a college yet. LaFrance, we talked about him, the big one from Monona, Iowa, headed to KU. Henderson, that's J.R. Henderson, player of the year in the state of California. And Galen Robinson, who is going to stay close to home and play at the University of Houston. And some coaches who are in attendance at this game tonight. Roy Williams watching tonight. Also, P.J. Carlissimo is here in the audience someplace. We'll get a shot of P.J. He's never hard to find as far as having crowds of people around him. And the official, Steve Wilmer, is the referee. He is the tallest of the group, about to toss the ball up, and the 2 umpires with him tonight, Jerry Petro and Eric Harmon. Very good crew of officials who officiate Big Ten, Big 8, Missouri Valley, a lot in this area. Petro, I know, is from Indianapolis. So the red 45 is Andre Patterson, who is headed to IU. He'll jump it up, and he'll go up against LaFrance. Into the backcourt, and going to be taken by the future Indiana Hoosier.
We'll see all man-to-man defenses, which should give these players an excellent chance to showcase their games, and that's a Hoosier favorite already, Andre Patterson.
Oh, they love him. There's signs around here. Last night we were in Shelbyville, Indiana, just outside of Indianapolis. It's where they had the 3-point and the slam dunk, and they really raised the roof every time one of these youngsters from IU was talked about or did anything.
They love their college basketball here.
Brower working outside, going against DeJuan Baker. DeJuan is headed for Oklahoma State. DeJuan will pick up the first foul of the ball game.
I had a chance to talk to Jeff Brower earlier this afternoon, and he told me he had Reggie Miller type range. So maybe we'll see that long distance stroke sometime before the night's over.
Clark, he also has Reggie's barber.
Yeah, they're keeping it close to the dome.
Aerodynamically expedient. I think that's what it's called. Brower swishes it.
Wanted me to get in a hello to his mom, Rebecca. Consider it done, Jeff. These type of games are really a lot of fun. I think you're going to see pretty competitive action at both ends of the floor. You know, I think about when I played in these games, and typically I wanted to prove to the other outstanding players in the country that if they had heard or read anything about me, it was legitimate.
Clark, the thing also that is, it's a little bit of one-upsmanship as far as these kids are concerned, because you have read all the press credentials on most everybody who's here, and you want to see if you can outdo that other guy.
Exactly, sure. The competitive juices flow a little bit.
Did you feel as though it was important to you as far as your career, or just Hodgson nails the 3?
Just a matter of pride, basically. I mean, anytime you play the game, whether it's in front of fans or on the playground, you want to prove that you belong and maybe you're better than the guy defending it.
And of course, right now is a time where the coaches cannot talk to these players, but they are here to watch. Like Roy Williams is here to watch LaFrance, and also Billy Thomas, who will visit about, who's a guard, who's going to KU. Long jumper right there. That's Avery Curry. And a lot of coaches are here watching him that have scholarships left. I know P.J. Carlissimo said to us just before the telecast, or he asked how he had been looking through practice. I think Seton Hall thinks they got a shot at him.
Well, that's one of the 4 schools that Avery mentioned to us when we talked to him. He talked about Seton Hall. He's from Tallahassee, so Florida State is obviously on the list. Georgetown and Syracuse the other. So you've got 3 Big East schools, and if one of them lands him, Ron, you're talking about a major league recruiting year for the Big East. They've already signed Zendon Hamilton and Felipe Lopez, both to St. John's, which is Both of those guys on the top 10 list of everybody's All-American team.
Robinson was fouled. He'll go to the line. You know, one other thing I thought was really interesting in continuing our conversation about Curry, the youngster said his mom is going to have such a great input as to where he winds up going to school.
You see Galen Robinson getting banged on the nice pass.
That's LaFrance, the young man from Monona, Iowa, that Clark talks so much about, and you can see he's a southpaw. You can see him get up and hit the jumper. Strong to the hoop.
That was Henderson on a nice block.
Baker pushes it up for the South All-Stars. 6-5 right now is the North on top. Back out to Curry, and they'll reset it. LaFrance again, and he swishes it.
Nice looking stroke there, Ron, for a big fella.
You know, when you consider already Ostertag is a 7-1 youngster who is at KU. He'll be a junior next year. The lob inside, and Andre Patterson. That's a good look right there. Former teammates with the lob, the alley-oop. But he is there, and this year, the other
Scott Pollard, I think, is
Pollard really came through big time. So they're going to have 3 7-footers that look as though they're very active, good athletes for KU. Robinson with the 3-pointer, and they've got him listed at the center. But one of the things that his coach told me is that Johnny Carter said he does like to get outside and shoot the 3. He likes to square up and take that long shot.
Well, he didn't hesitate on that one.
Left alone, misses on the tip. Clayton Shields tried to put back, couldn't get it, and a friend strong to the hoop, and he now has 6 points. You know, Clark, I think it says that mono is getting a little better. He's got 6 points early here. Patterson with and the putback. Clayton Shields, Baytown, Texas, with the Lee High School there. Clayton Shields, folks, is a young man that some of the high school coaches here seem to think maybe the steal of this high school crop. Has grown 2 inches his senior year. Going to New Mexico for Dave Bliss. Neil Reed gets the 2. 12-9 now, the North.
You know, I talked to Rafe LaFrance, and he said one of his strengths is running the floor. Talked to him earlier today, and take a look. Avery Curry with the nice bounce pass, and LaFrance filling the right lane nicely. And that's what you like about him, his versatility.
That's a good guy. Oh, the lob pass. That time Neil Reed was a little too optimistic in his lob pass. There was no way Patterson could get up to that one. Clark, we're playing with 22-minute halves, and there's a reason for that, because they guarantee these games. Some All-Star games, you don't get to play very much, and they're going to get 22 minutes in this one. In fact, a timeout has been called right now, and that bench that you're looking at right there is Bob Hodson. Gentleman to our right in the screen, and Jim Robarts. Let's take a break. 12-11. It's the North on top. We'll be right back to Indianapolis with more.
Hello? Yo, did you mean to take that charge?
Yo, my man.
LJ, I found this over there. Were these your shoes? If you get better, you might want to get some Tarmacs by Converse.
You know, Converse.
You're wrong, man. They got a real mean outsole to give you real good traction on the outdoor court. You know, helps you to get out of the way of things. Let me ask the move, man. Yo, can you move it on? You can't stay here, okay?
If Burger King had just one customer, we'd have just one way to serve the #1 preferred burger. But since you come in more than one size, so does the flame-broiled Whopper. Like the new Whopper Jr. with more beef than before. Or Double Whopper with more beef than you'd believe. There's a Whopper taste for any size appetite from the everyday value of 99 cents. Whopper meals from $1.99. We don't have to be the world's #1 fast food place. Just yours, and yours, and yours.
Welcome to Burger King. Can I take your order, please?
Continuing on our coaches, Rob Hodson to the left. He is the father of Rob, who is going to Indiana. Head coach at Floyd High School in Mastic Beach, New York. And to the right, East Jefferson High School in Metairie, Louisiana, Jim Robards. We'll talk about those coaches from the South All-Stars in just a moment. A couple of lineup changes. Williams now in the ball game. Wears number 15. Shammond Williams headed for North Carolina. He is out of Fort Union Military Academy. His home is Greenville, South Carolina. It's him on defense right there going against Moore. Kendrick Moore will head to the University of Missouri. He is from Hartford, Connecticut. Little reach in right there. And Jack Aldridge, he is from Abilene, Texas. He is the head coach of the South Club, and with him is Johnny Carter, who is also from the Houston area, and Johnny is from Aldine, MacArthur. Arch with the shot, won't go down, and it will stay with the South squad. Brower with the fall away. Can't get it to go, and look at the big fella inside. You talk about big.
Yeah, he's thick all the way through from head to toe. Take a look. Shots taken from one side typically come off the other side, and there's Monty Harge right there on the weak side board. And believe me, when he gets anchored in, nobody will move him. 6'11", 285.
And you know what did he tell us this morning, though, when he got off the elevator?
Yeah, he's a few pounds north of 300.
305.
Right,
That's what he
right.
said. But
I tell you what, you wouldn't guess that looking at him, Ron. He's so well proportioned. And because he's so big, you wouldn't even think he's 6'11", but he is. I had to look up at him.
His legs are monster. Johnson drives to the hoop, can't get it to go, and Lucas will pick up the foul. That's J.J. Lucas. Name sound familiar? Well, it should. Son of Jerry. He is going to play at Vanderbilt. Came from Middletown, Ohio. Played at Fort Union this last year. Second foul on him, but they get 6 fouls. Nobody fouls out of this game. Of the 7th, there's a bonus for the other team. So go ahead and hack away.
That's right. Bang those bodies in the paint, fellas.
This is a Lizzie Borden game. Carlton Dixon, he gets it blocked by Lucas. Sends a foul. Look at Harge now. Nobody's going to back him up. And Lucas, along with Henderson, will come down with the rebound. Shields with the rebound and the outlet pass. Carlton Dixon, who's going to play at the University of Texas, come down and taken a couple of shots and have been off the mark. And at the other end, that's Chris Johnson, son of Marcus Johnson. So yeah, we've got some famous sons, some dads who are very good ball players who are in this. And J.R. Henderson, who we talked about out of East Bakersfield High School, and Chris Johnson both are going to play at UCLA.
Part of that strong recruiting class that Jim Herrick has coming in.
Billy Thomas way off the mark. Billy, another new face in the ballgame. He's going to play at Kansas. He's from Shreveport, Louisiana.
He only took 2 of his 5 allowed visits and determined KU was the place. Loves Jock Vaughn and decided the chance to play with him was all he needed.
Well, I'll tell you, this group right here has done a better job of running the floor as Johnson gets the 2 points.
Well, everybody's going to the board for the North Club, so when they miss, there's no defensive balance, and it's easy numbers the other way.
Ow! Nice move to the hoop. Moore couldn't get it to go. Moore is the slightest of the guys who was here at only 170 pounds. And in fact, knowing that his future teammate is the young man we just talked about, Hart, who weighs 305, standing together, they look like the number 10. And you know which one represents the 0.
Sweet move along the baseline by Kendrick Moore. Looks off Lucas, then goes under him. Just didn't have quite enough English to make it happen. Certainly gets high marks, though, for color.
Look at Monty Harge. He is from Jefferson City, Missouri. He averaged only 14 points a game in high school. 10 rebounds and 5 block shots. But you just had the feeling, boy, if you want to bring him out high to set a pick or however you want to use him to set picks, that you've got to run some extra mileage. Lucas with the tipping. You're going to run extra mileage just to get around his body. South on top, 18-14. Of the 4 coaches that we looked at on the sideline, they promise these kids that they will average 20 minutes in the ball game, so that's the reason for the wholesale substitution, and we are playing 22-minute halves.
Take a look at these backboards. This is a little different than what these kids are used to playing on. The bottom of the boards underneath the rack, 4 inches shorter than what you see in the high school and college games.
Brower lost it, back to Clayton Shields, and he loses it. Johnson with the outlet pass to Henderson, and it's going to go off his hand and will go out of bounds.
Yeah, the reason for that 4-inch difference in the backboards, obviously the NBA players a little bigger and with more hops than, well, maybe not more hops, but more guys with hops than the college guys. So that cushion is to protect the heads of the players.
Thomas at the other end gets the 2. Billy Thomas, Loyola College Prep, as we mentioned, from Shreveport, going to play for Roy Williams at KU.
North having a tough time finding the hole. Somewhere in the neighborhood of 30% shooting so far.
Dixon with a lob pass inside, and Thomas will pick up the foul. So there's a timeout. Let's take it with him. 13:07 left until the halftime. South all of a sudden has gone on top by 6. 20-14. We'll be right back.
Always Coca-Cola.
What do you need to be the best?
Starter. It's not that simple.
It just doesn't happen.
It takes a lot of work.
Discipline, dedication.
There's a lot of things that come into play.
You have to push yourself.
Day after day,
3,000 sit-ups.
30,000 shots.
Fly balls or extra batting practice.
And that's what it takes.
You get better and better.
When you cross the finish line,
It's a great feeling.
Home plate, that's it.
the victory lap.
It was such a dream.
That was the ultimate.
Starter.
What do you need to be the best? Everything you got. It's up to you.
Meet the Parker twins, Bob and Fred.
Hi.
Identical in every way, except when it comes to taking care of their cars. Bob likes the shine of original Armor All Protectant, but not Fred.
I gotta be me.
Fred's discovered the rich, deep finish of new low-gloss Armor All. It protects like original Armor All.
But without the glossy shine.
Original or new low gloss.
Now it's your choice.
Only from Armor All.
Hey, can I try that?
Well, the gentleman signing the autographs right there, it's happened to him, I think, for his entire career since he came to Indiana. I think it even started happening when he was in high school. Damon Bailey, of course, is the gentleman we're talking about. And he joins us here at the table, and he's going to be a guest commentator with Clark Kellogg and myself until just about halftime. Welcome. Does this bring back some memories as far as the high school All-American games you played in?
It really does. You know, this is a lot of fun. You know, it gives a chance for the people, you know, especially to come out and see the Indiana kids that are going to go to Indiana University next year, to come out and see them play. You know, see the best high school players in America play.
Well, the 3 kids who were starting tonight in this ball game really got huge ovations as Moore knocks down the 3. And these folks obviously love their basketball, but they want to get a little preview report of what's going to be playing there in the future, don't they?
They really do. You know, what they're going to be out here doing tonight is not going to be what they're going to be doing to play for Coach Knight.
Can you explain that, Damon?
But you know, it is going to be a lot of fun, and you're going to be able to see the kind of talent that they do have.
What kind of adjustments would you encourage these guys to make as they get ready to play basketball at Indiana for Coach Knight? What kind of advice would you give them in terms of things to work on over the summer to get ready for IU basketball?
I think the best thing for players going to Indiana to realize or to take the approach that they know nothing about the game. You know, they've got to go in, they've got to learn a new system. And I think this happens everywhere, not just Indiana. But you've got to go in, you've got to learn a new system, a new style of play. And if you go in with the attitude, you know, hey, I know nothing about the game, and I'm going to learn from one of the greatest coaches in the country, you're going to be a very good player and be very successful. If you go in there, you know, thinking, hey, I'm a McDonald's All-American, you know, hey, I'm this, I'm that, you're going to have a difficult time.
Yeah.
Coach Knight kind of feasts on that sort of thing, doesn't he?
He really does. You know, like I said, it's a situation where, you know, Indiana has a lot of good players coming in, but Indiana isn't a place that you have to have great players. They've, you know, developed a system where if you just work hard and do the things that Coach wants you to do, you're going to be successful and win a lot of games.
I think people that see you on television and then see you in person are probably surprised at how big you are, how physically strong you are. When you talk about the adjustment that a high school guy has to make going to major college basketball, how important, and I try to impress the kids how important strength and conditioning is, and obviously it's only been 4 years since you first came here. How important is that factor?
I think it's very important. You know, strength is something that, you know, I don't think you can replace it, you know, especially for a guard to get in there with the bigger guys. You know, you're not going to go in there and push bigger players around, but it helps to go in there, you know, when you get bumped around, you can still get a shot off. You know, and conditioning is very important for the simple fact, you know, when the last 2 or 3 minutes when the game's on the line, you know, you could still got something left where somebody else may not, and that's where you're going to win a lot of games. You know, at Indiana, strength conditioning is very important to us, and you know, I think if you go back and look, Indiana wins a lot of close games, and I think a lot of that is because of the conditioning, and we've got a little left at the end.
The young man, Hodgson, who was just at the line and sunk the 2 free throws. Besides his physical abilities, I have to think that one of the things that Coach Knight liked about him is he's a coach's son, and he seems very coachable with a lot of ability.
I think so. You know, I've just watched him out here tonight a little bit. You know, it looks like he plays hard. It looks like he's really focused and enjoying the game.
A little mechanical at times, but still he gets it done.
He does. You know, that's all that matters. But at Indiana, you know, we don't care how you get it done. And you know, just like Neil Reed there, he's coming to Indiana, and he's a very good shooter. And you know, those will be the things that he'll be doing in Indiana, doing what he can do. And you know, he's got to realize what his limitations are and what his weaknesses are, and try to play away from those.
Ask you one other question before we talk about some of the other kids, but Andre Patterson is coming in with somewhat the same moniker you had, and that is future superstar. Now, what kind of pressure is that, Damon? Because when you walk in there day one, when people are expecting that, it's a little harder than what those other two guys have done.
Before he answers that, though, I would like to say I was living here in Indianapolis, and what he had to deal with, Damon Bailey, is probably different than any other player in all of high school basketball that I've actually seen and experienced, simply because of the career he had in high school and then going on to Indiana where there's such tradition and such success. I mean, I just can't even imagine the pressure that was on a guy.
Basketball is a year-round sport in Indiana. It's something that everybody loves, and he's going to be noticed. He's going to, everywhere he be, a situation where Andre